That's the other.
I'm moving. Do you have a truck?
That's the number one friend requirement. Do you have a truck?
Yeah.
That's my friend quiz is one question. Why are BMW drivers the worst? There's got to be some science behind it.
You are the longest limbed man that I've ever seen.
Maybe one limb, but.
And he would answer the phone and be like, I don't know if the monkey exhibit is open. This is not the zoo. Get serious.
We got to use this. This has got to be usable.
Let's get physical.
I am envious of people who just have one weird skill.
Yeah.
It's a very niche skill that's not practical, but they just make their whole life and like they make a living off of it.
Like combat yo-yo.
Yeah, right. Yeah, something like combat yo-yo. Is that a thing?
I bet it is.
That has to be.
I bet there's somebody who's weaponized yo-yos.
Like, does that mean like they're trying to hit each other in the nuts with it?
I don't know.
Or is like battle bots where the yo-yos are duking it out?
I'm just imagining it's like got blades on it or something.
Well, they got Beyblade. Beyblade?
Yeah.
That's about as close as we get so far, I think, to combat yo-yos, but that's pretty close.
I mean, like, it's basically just think of like a Beyblade, but on your finger.
Yeah.
And you can whip it at people and stuff.
I bet there's some like ancient Chinese weapon that's like basically like yo-yo / ninja stars.
Probably.
Like ninja stars with strings on them, and they just like kind of like nunchucks.
Yeah.
Nunchucks are pretty cool.
Nunchucks are always badass.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't ever try to be an accomplished nunchuck user because I know I'm going to hit myself in the head
Yeah.
and or balls a lot.
100%.
But I can admire them from afar.
I'd somehow manage to get the chain wrapped around my nuts and just like rip them off. And just, that'll be my downfall.
That would be a seriously notable Darwin Award entry.
Definitely. I was watching a documentary on speedrunners for gamers who just like try to complete games as fast as possible.
Right.
And this one guy was doing Super Mario. So it was actually pretty interesting. Like retro games are the most popular games to speedrun because they can't be patched. Like they take advantage of all the bugs and sequence breaking and all this.
There's different schools of speedrun, right? There's people who are like no
cheats,
no bugs,
no
no
hacks.
cheats,
Yeah, exactly.
just like playing the game by its intended mechanics.
Right.
And then there are the
exploiting all the
min-maxers.
Exactly, yeah. But there was this one guy who was doing Super Mario Brothers. He's like one of the best in the world. Set a bunch of world records. Got so bored with just mastering the game that he just learned to play it with his feet. So he's just speed running the game, breaking records with his feet while juggling. Dude is juggling while playing with his freaking feet. Got a joystick and everything. It was pretty nuts. Pretty nuts.
I'm genuinely impressed that you can. I mean, after a certain point, it's muscle memory.
Yeah,
I guess with your feet, but juggling and playing whatever video game is still that's worthy of respect.
Yeah, it was nuts. It was interesting to see like some of the speedrunners that are kind of new to the game and they're like all fired up and stuff. And then there's the old school, the OGs who are like really jaded by it. Like one guy was
How
like,
so?
Well, one guy was just like, or actually I think it was trans woman. But she was like, I beat all these records, I made a living with it, doing Twitch streaming and all that. And then eventually I was just like, this is pointless. Like what's this like, because what it is like, when you first start out, it's like maybe 1 out of 100 runs will be good. And then you master it. And then maybe 1 out of 1,000 and then 1 out of 10,000 and then 1 out of 100,000. At some point she's just like, what am I doing? Like, you're on diminishing returns.
The bleeding edge of extreme competency in something that actually is not productive.
Yeah, right.
Except for generating entertainment value.
Yeah.
And even then it's very, very niche entertainment value.
Yeah. And then it was funny. She's like, yeah, so I've just kind of switched gears, other passions. Like I'm just doing like game development now. And it just shows her like in her bedroom, like on the computer, and she's just like modeling some chick with big tits. It's like, all right, you found your Ikigai. Nice.
That's
awesome.
That's how you pronounce it.
I approve.
You pronounce it Ikigai?
What is it? Ikigai?
I don't know. I thought it was Ikagi.
Ikagi? Oh,
I
heard Ikigai, but who knows?
I literally thought you said Icky guy at first. like
that's
Icky
offensive.
Guy, and
That's
I was
offensive.
like, that doesn't sound right. Let me rerun that.
That's just that's what I call. You think that's what I call trans people? Just like, oh,
No.
this is an icky guy.
No, like
That's so mean.
finding your
mean,
Icky
Ian.
Guy. I'm like,
Find your icky guy, dude.
yeah.
I mean,
I don't know. I haven't heard it pronounced correctly, so I just read it and
yeah.
I mentally was thinking, yeah, the pronunciation Ikigai sounds like something that I would probably hear in an anime. So.
I mean, any straight, any woman in a straight relationship has found her icky guy. Because we're all guys are icky. We're all
in
icky
some
as
way
hell.
or another, and often in many ways.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's a thing.
It's
Guys
yeah.
are gross.
We're totally gross. Hence this podcast.
It is. I mean, that's
Exhibit A.
the foundation. Like that we laid down with our very first episode was just let's just jump the shark on the first episode
Yeah.
and get right into the dirtiest, greasiest
Yep.
topics.
Yep. Man.
And it's been a struggle to not fall back into that because it flows, you know?
I mean, we did a recent episode where we just literally talked about poop and farts and pee and just and
Back to basics.
and the barf in the Ziploc bag, the heavy.
Yes.
So I mean, that was like the whole episode. Views were a little lower on that one, understandably. People probably just watched 10 minutes and were like, "I'm out. I can't do this."
I mean,
We got to get in that mode sometimes, though.
Yeah.
like a
Sometimes you
cleanse.
just got to get that icky guy out of your system.
The icky guy in all of us needs to come out once in a while.
Yeah.
It's a detox.
It's part of being a dude. I think.
Some crazy dudes out there. We ran into a crazy dude. I won't say crazy. Ran into a very interesting dude over the weekend. Mel and I were at Ralph's getting getting alkies as we do at like midnight. And obviously, like Mel loves going to the clearance section. We're in the clearance aisle, which is like way deep. It's like in the deepest corner. It's like right by the restrooms. It's like not even in the store. It's like its own
It's always
branch.
jammed into this back corner.
Super claustrophobic little corner. So we're like looking through stuff. She picks up some, and then this guy just walks in by himself, middle aged, probably in his late 40s, early 50s, and he's like kind of making small talk with us or whatever. And then it just like he starts like just talking more and more, just kind of almost stream of consciousness. Mm-hmm. And I'm being polite. Mel's just kind of observing, and I'm talking to him or whatever. He's like, "You guys live around here?" And I'm like, "Yeah, around the area." I kind of give him a brief general description. And he's like, "Oh, what part? What part of that city?" And I'm like, "It's like by this area." I'm just trying to be vague. And then he's like, "Oh yeah,
It's right down the street from the police station."
Yeah, and he's like, "What do you do?" And I'm like, I do video production." He's like, "Oh yeah, me too." I was like, I'm one of the best. I'm one of the best Steadicam operators. Just like he was just he was definitely on. He had the tism.
Yeah,
he had a bit of the tism, and I was just like, okay. And he's like, I'm a Democrat. Me and my partner we're Democrats. We believe in education. Just going off, right? Like didn't even really have much to do with the conversation. Was just going on all these tangents.
He was just having a good time talking to somebody.
Yeah, and he was. And so like I got that. I was like, maybe he's a lonely guy. Maybe he just hasn't doesn't come across conversation often. So I'm just whatever. I'm being nice. And then maybe after like 5 minutes, he's like, all right, well, I'll let you guys go. You guys have a good night. We're like, yeah, you too. And he like goes away. And then like Mel and I just kind of look at each other like, that was interesting. And maybe about 30, 40 seconds later, he comes right back and he goes, "Oh, you know what? There was something else. Do you guys know of any good apartments around here? I'm trying to find a new apartment." And then, like just out of it, we're like, all right, we're back into like another like 3 minutes of just random conversation. And we're just like, yeah. And then he's like, okay, well, you have a good night. Walks away again. And then like Mel and I give each other another look like, damn, this guy. Third time. Comes back a third time.
Okay.
Like a minute later. And he goes, "You know what I was just thinking?" And mind you, we're in this claustrophobic little corner of the clearance
still
section.
in the clearance area.
And there's only one way out, and it's through him, and he's completely blocked the only path out, unless we hide in the bathroom. And I'm just like, yeah. And at this point, I'm like starting to talk less. Just like clearly he has the tism because there's no social cues being picked up.
Or he's just tweaking.
He wasn't tweaking. He didn't seem on drugs.
Okay.
He seemed like
he was just not exactly neurotypical.
Yes, he was very neurodivergent, and then after that, after he goes away a third time, Mel and I are like, let's get the fuck out of the clearance section.
Don't get trapped in here again,
dude. So we just start roaming the general store, and then we kind of make our way. We go down this one aisle, maybe like 5 minutes later, and he turns and he goes, "Oh, hey, can I get your number?" And I'm like, and there's like other people around there because we're like kind of by the front checkout, and I'm like, and I go, "This is perfect. I have a burner number, on my I have the burner app, so I start reaching for my phone, like I'll just give him my burner number. The one time I don't have my phone on me, the one time, and I'm just like, oh shit, and so. I just give him my number. Because, of course, he's the type of guy that's just going to immediately call you, and just like send a text like, hey.
It's that guy from Rouse.
Like, literally. I'm standing right next to you. And he's like, are you looking for, because I told him, he's like, oh, do you work for someone? I was like, no, I have like my own small business or whatever. He's like, are you hiring? Like, are you looking for anyone to employees?
Wow, it's the opposite of trying to recruit you for an MLM. I like that's honestly the saving grace to this conversation.
Yeah,
is because so often things like that end up being like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm looking, I'm there's this person who's mentoring me and I'm making a lot of money working with them, and I'm looking for somebody to share that wealth with, and that knowledge.
Yeah. It kind of felt like that. I mean, the second he asked for my number, I was like, is this love on the spectrum right now? Like, is this a thing? So, and then it was funny. He was like, what ethnicity are you? Are you Hispanic? And I was like, no, I'm half white and half Thai. He's like, oh, okay. And this was when we were back at the clearance section. But then when we met up again later and he asked for my number, we were standing much closer. He goes, I could see the tie in your eyes now. I can see it. Now that we're closer, I can see it. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, what about you? She's like, I'm half, Japanese. It was just like wild. I was like, all right, well, we got to go. And so parted ways. Sure enough, by the time I get home, he's already texted me. Hey, Kyle, it was great to meet you. Just like stay in touch or whatever. Like, nice guy, just quirky, very quirky. And like so quirky to the point where like, it's hard to know sometimes how to react in those situations because you don't want to be rude, but you don't also want to like lead a person on to be like, let's be best friends.
Right.
So it's this weird, you're kind of caught in this social purgatory.
That is a sticky situation.
Yeah.
That's tough to navigate because you want to be kind to people and respectful.
Yeah. But
you also want to be honest and be like, you seem like a cool person, but I don't have room in my life for another like, high engagement friendship, or to be frank, low engagement friendship.
Yeah, right. Yeah, like, dude, I don't even make the time. Like, I don't even have the time to call my super close friends that I've known for years. Like, I rarely even see my friends. There's no space in my life. But then it's like it's weird to have that conversation with a stranger. But anyway, it was interesting.
So you haven't broken up with him yet?
No, I'm still with my Ikigai. I can't shake him, dude. I can't shake him. I didn't text you back. I didn't reply. I didn't even know what to say. So I was just like, and it's like, I don't want to open that door. You don't want to open that door.
Just start replying with
dick pics. That could be Pandora's box right there.
Quotes from Tropic Thunder. Either Star Wars or Tropic Thunder.
Yeah. I don't want to leave any I don't want to accidentally slip something that we might bond over. He'd be like, I'm actually doing a Tropic Thunder watch party at my place.
No, just be like, I'm playing a dude disguised as a dude, disguised as another dude. Yeah. I was at a loss for words by the end of it. But that's the risk of being willing to engage with people socially, but it doesn't like, there's no reward without risk.
Sure.
Like, if you're just, you keep everybody at arm's length, then that means yes, you're going to have less uncomfortable interactions, but it also means you'll miss opportunities to have, meaningful or special connections.
Yeah.
Or just have doors open that you wouldn't otherwise.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
And that's obviously the minority, great minority of those occasions.
Right.
But it's sort of like, if you're just playing a game and you never check out any of the side quests,
sure.
Even though a lot of the side quests are just bullshit.
Yeah, right.
Some of them are actually genuinely cool and like engaging.
Definitely. With a person, it's like I'm open to it as long as there has to be some level of chemistry.
Yeah.
Between you and somebody, like a stranger, if you're going to kind of open that door and allow them to step through, like with Alvaro.
Yeah.
Alvaro was just like, I hired him for a job, like contractor job.
Right.
And we just kind of, we met very organically and didn't think anything of it, but just kind of started talking. I was like, this guy's pretty chill. Mm-hmm. And then I hired him for some more projects and just got to know him a little bit. Just a little bit at a time. It was just very natural. And I was like, yeah, I could see myself having a beer with this guy.
Yeah.
It wasn't like there were no weird feelings or weird vibes that I got,
He's a cool dude. He's good people.
He's a good friend of mine now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm totally open to it when it works,
right.
when it feels good, when it feels natural and it doesn't make me nervous. Because I'm super socially awkward. I'm socially introverted. Around my close friends and stuff, I'm fine. Or if I'm drinking at a party, like I'm the bee's knees at a party
with some that social lubricant of alcohol. You can just be like, oh yeah, let's be best friends.
Yeah, maybe I should just get trashed with Ikigai.
Dude, it's not like you haven't done stuff like that before.
This is true. This is true. This is true. Yeah.
But to be fair, that's been like one-off occasions. It's not like you haven't gone down that road and found like a lifelong friendship from it.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Alvaro is probably the closest example of just someone that I met completely random, like well into adulthood,
mm-hmm.
like that was outside of college or school or anything like that, or outside of work. And it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen often. But it's cool when it does. It's cool when it does. Like I never understood people who are just like super extroverted and just crazy, like social butterfly. Like Steve. Steve is like the wildest social butterfly I know.
He is.
Blows my mind.
He has the gift of gab. He is a true schmoozer.
Oh my god!
And like I don't know. I don't know why, but for some reason, it's like the word schmoozer sounds like it has sort of a negative connotation.
Because
to me,
a lot of the time it does, but it doesn't have to.
Yeah, and I guess. It
depends on what your intentions are behind it.
Okay.
If you're trying to get something out of someone.
I don't think that I've ever actually bothered to look up an exact definition.
Yeah.
It's just one of those words that you know and use from context.
Right. Yeah. Like if you're at like a networking event, it's like a bunch of business, financial people, then yeah, you're schmoozing because you want something from them.
Right.
You want to get ahead. You want to climb some ladder. They have something that you want. But Steve is a perfect example of like schmoozing with just the purest of intention. Like, right. And that's why I think it comes across as it's kind of like a red flag to most people, understandably, because most of the time when you're schmoozing, it's because you're trying to manipulate someone, you're trying to get something out of them. But Steve is just like that rare breed. It's like, no, I just want to be your friend. He's he's the quintessential golden retriever. He's a golden retriever friend in the best way possible, and that like freaks people out. It's like, who is this guy? What do you want?
Yeah,
it's like, no, I just really like your shirt,
especially,
and I think you should come over for dinner tonight.
Especially like, when you live in a bigger city. I think maybe it's I don't know if that's what it is, but it's definitely like not so much something that you see in like more rural areas. But yeah, there's a natural distrust and a natural like personal bubble where like even if not somebody's not actively engaging with you. If they're just like too close to you, you put up like an extra guard.
Right. Exactly.
And the simplest example that I can think of is just like if you're walking into Ralph's and it's a nice, Saturday morning, and somebody ends walking out of the store and they go, "Hey, good morning." Like that's not a normal thing, right?
Yeah, right.
Around here.
Yeah.
But in a lot of places that are a little bit smaller and like more laid back, it's totally normal.
Right. Yeah.
And having spent some time in places like that, it took some getting used to, and I grew to enjoy it.
Right.
Because you can have nice, positive interactions with people without having the constant, concern of like, oh, is this going to turn into a thing? Are they going to try to corner me and sell me their mixtape or
exactly, yeah,
whatever? You can just casually acknowledge and have even conversation with people with no strings attached, with no weirdness to it. And it's just more, ironically, more chill than California. And I
definitely, my
experience on this particular topic is based on the time that I spent in Arizona.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's a number of factors to it. It's just like, one of them is that in a big city, a lot of people have like some agenda, or everyone's hustling. Everyone's hustling some way. They got their mind on money and money on their mind. And so
couldn't resist. It's a good lyric.
Couldn't help myself. But and so with that in mind, it's like, okay, you kind of have to be on guard. And also there's just so many people. So it's like, it's not feasible to just like stop and say hi to like every single person every 2 feet away. Yeah. Like when I've been to smaller cities, in the brief time that I have, it's like you go into like some like local mom and pop owned like barbecue joint, and it's like it's just you and whoever's working there. Yeah. Maybe one other person sitting down, right? And it's just like, okay, well now it feels almost like you're in someone's home in a way. It's much more intimate. It's not just this revolving door of thousands of people day in and day out. And so you're like, and also they don't really have a whole lot going on a lot of the time. Like they're just chilling. Like in a smaller town, like the pace of life is a lot slower. Yes. And so like they're there to smell the roses. And then it's like I sat down, I was there for like in Pittsburgh, I think it was like for a day at a barbecue joint actually. And this lady came in and just ordered and then just started whipping up conversation with the lady that was behind the counter. They had a whole ass conversation as if they knew each other for years, but they didn't even know each other. It was just like there was something on the news. It was talking about some local bridge that was getting reconstructed. You hear about that? Like they just had a chat about it, and it was just so casual and nice, And I'm just like this. I'm like in my hoodie, just like this LA kid, just like this is weird. I'm just like stuffing my face with ribs. I'm like, get the hell out of here. What are these people doing?
So would you say that they didn't necessarily know each other, but they both they recognized that they were both locals?
Yes. Like, yeah, they were like both were part of the same community. Yeah. They probably have mutual friends. Right. And they might see each other at church or something on Sundays, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Where it's just like, it's more of a community aspect.
Community is a big deal. And you don't really, I guess I feel like you don't really,
you have to look for it here.
Yeah.
You have to look for it here. You have to join a group, join a club, be a part of something, have D&D night and get to know the people there, which is like, it's cool, but it's like, you have to seek it out. Like in small towns like that, it's kind of just all around you. It's just the default.
It's naturally generated.
Yeah.
I mean, there are definitely people who encourage it and fertilize its growth, but it tends to arise naturally. Yeah. But in places where you're kind of always your guard is up, it's like, if you went out of your way to go and individually introduce yourself to your neighbors and invite them to a barbecue in your backyard, you could start planting the seeds for a neighborhood community, like if you really went out of your way to do something like that.
Sure.
But it's not something that you would expect
definitely.
to just arise naturally, at least anywhere that I've been in California.
And that would feel weird if you did it here.
Yeah.
You know, if I started going around knocking on my neighbor's doors like, oh, I'm doing a thing, just neighbors that I've never talked to before or anything, just like, oh, just trying to connect with people here. I would get looks. They'd just be like, what?
Because
are you trying to is this some Ponzi scheme that you're trying to rope us into?
Yeah, you would have to give that disclaimer. Like, I guarantee you,
this is not. I'm not selling anything.
I'm not trying to get you into an MLM. If somebody starts pitching an MLM at this event, I will kick them out.
Yeah.
I just want to try to, start building some sense of community here in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
It would be effort. It would be work, and you would get probably pretty minimal results unless you kept at it like long term.
Yeah.
Exactly. Versus But there is the upside of, like, you don't have to constantly like stand in your driveway and talk to your neighbor that you don't really want to talk to about gossip about other people you don't really care about.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to force it.
You don't get sucked into that.
True.
So it's there's upsides and downsides to it.
Yeah. I'm happy with like the 2.5 neighbors that I know in this area, like on my street.
That's enough. That's plenty, right?
That's plenty. That's a perfect amount. 3 would be too much.
Yeah.
2 not enough. 2.5.
The half is the one who can like see everything that happens in your living room at night.
Yeah, right. It's like a one-way relationship. They just know things about me that they shouldn't.
Man. Yeah, at least they're kind and respectful enough to give you a heads up about that.
Yeah, no, definitely. Definitely. Man, what else is going on, dude?
I don't know. Are you going to text that guy back?
What would you do? And viewers and listeners, please weigh in your thoughts. How do I handle the situation? Do I even handle it at all? Do I just let it go?
I feel like there should be a standardized friend test.
Oh God, here we go. How would this work?
I don't know. I mean, you take like,
drive me to the airport. Will you drive me to the airport?
You know how magazines
help me move.
Magazines are always like, they have these quizzes like, what type of person are you, or what if you were an animal, what animal would you be? I don't know.
Sure.
What those kind of quizzes.
Yeah.
Just pick like 10 of those, and then have them basically scoring them on personality.
Pick 10 quizzes.
Yeah. Pick 10 of those bullshit quizzes.
Yeah.
And then just make up your own bullshit grading algorithm for like, okay, this quiz is going to reflect some kind of insight about their personality.
Right. Yeah.
This quiz is going to, reveal their integrity.
If my girlfriend and I are in a fight, who are you going to side with?
If I hit you up and ask you if you have a boat and a tarp, what's your answer going to be?
I need a cat sitter for 3 months. Where's your loyalty stand?
I don't know, man. It's like you have no obligation other than the obligation that you give yourself.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah.
Which is, none of my business. Honestly.
I mean, honestly, I probably won't reply just because, like, even outside of any kind of friendship developing, which I doubt that anything would come of that, there's nothing, I don't think there's anything that I could even offer him. Like I would have been, if I had some leads on an apartment or a job or something, then I would have, offered it. But I don't have anything.
Other than that, you can offer your time, which is I think we've established you are pretty, you value your time, and you're not gonna typically just go giving it away for free, so somebody can have fun talking to you.
Yeah. Which is too bad because it'd be cool if I,
But there are other fish in the sea who will happily listen to this fella.
Yeah.
And you doesn't have to be, today's not the day that you have to be one of those.
Yeah. Thank you for giving me permission to be a shitty friend.
I mean,
no.
Friendship is a two-way street. So if you're not and it outside of that, the context, this, I think the principle applies. If all you're ever doing in a friendship is giving, whether it's time or attention or whatever, or money, which is sometimes friendships get really wrapped up like in like, oh, so and so owes me $20 and I'm really worked up about it, whatever.
Yeah.
But I try to keep that out of friendships for the kind of the principle of it being safer too.
It's safer. It's just it's too complicated.
Yeah,
it complicates things.
But yeah, if you're in a what you consider to be a friendship, and all that's ever happening is you're giving your time, your attention, your effort, whatever, and then that doesn't sound like a good friendship for you, because you should be getting something.
Right.
Not that you're in it to get something, but there should be balance.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It's not like necessarily monetary or like superficial. Like sometimes it is those things, but it's more just kind of like support. I think just general support, having that feeling that like someone's in your corner if you need help.
Yeah.
And sometimes that does, like, it is superficial. Like, hey, I need a little bit of help, maybe with, I don't know. Can I borrow something?
Can I borrow your weed whacker?
Can I borrow your car? Do you have a truck? That's the other.
I'm moving. Do you have a truck?
That's the number one friend requirement. Do you have a truck?
Yeah.
That's my friend quiz is one question. Done.
Okay. Yeah. Other than that, I was gonna say I had a moment where I was thinking, which is unusual. So I figured I would take note of that. It was noteworthy.
Unprecedented.
Nearly, yes.
Dare I ask about what?
Mundane things, but
that's what the show's about, baby.
Let me see if I can read my own writing here.
Give me that mundane rain, baby.
Okay. I can read one of these things that I wrote down. What's the dumbest warning that your car has ever given you?
Dumbest warning.
Like warning. Like here's mine.
Yeah.
Warning. Your windshield wiper fluid is low.
Right.
Like what the hell?
I don't need to know that.
That's not.
That's obvious when no windshield wiper
if critical
comes
information is here.
Yeah.
And pertinent information is here.
Yeah.
My windshield wiper fluid being low is still down here.
In California.
Yeah. I guess.
Maybe in a different state where weather is a massive
if you have to
ass.
Maybe if you're it's winter time and you have to have windshield wiper fluid that won't freeze. And it's important for getting, I don't know, frost off your windshield or
maybe
something.
just like certain places where it's just like crazy sandstorms. Like there's no way you could get that gunk off your windshield unless you had dirt.
Mud storms? I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know. I mean, maybe if you if you park your car overnight or something and it just gets real dirty. Does that happen?
If bums are shitting on it.
I don't know, dude. I live in a bubble. I live in a nice Southern California bubble where it's always sunny. I don't know what goes on.
I mean,
in the world.
Yeah, I like.
But yeah,
I was surprised to see that, because normally I'm just like, oh, I see the stream is getting a little weak. It's like maybe like somebody with prostate problem, took over the windshield wiper squirting shift.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of it too is just car manufacturers just trying to get the craziest, like the highest safety rating.
I mean,
they just load their cars up with just every sensor.
If you're gonna put a sensor in for my windshield wiper fluid, like that's just too much information. That's literally TMI. That is not important information to me.
I mean, Mel's mom just got a new car, and it's a Lexus. It's really nice.
Yeah,
and it is like the ultimate like hand holding car. Like if you, like Mel was driving it over the weekends, like if she was trying to parallel park, if she gets too close to the curb, the car will just stop. It won't even let her drive.
Oh, it doesn't even go beep, 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 beep.
Right. I mean,
it just hits the brakes.
It just goes no. It's almost like, when you're learning to drive and the teacher, the instructor's got his own set of brakes and
I never had
pedals. Really?
My dad took me to the parking lot at Fry's Electronics.
Oh, really?
And I just learned to do the basic maneuvers there.
I think I did it once. I thought
I've seen those cars where they're setting set up for like a cockpit.
Yeah.
You have dual sets of controls.
Exactly.
Never been in one.
Yeah, I think
so
I did
that.
I think I did it once, and fortunately, I don't think he had to use it at all. But, yeah, no, I mean there's cars are like that now. They're built in. They got a built-in backseat driver for you. Probably just because Toyota, Lexus is known for being like super safe.
Yeah.
So part of me wonders like, are they just throwing that in there to really scale the ranks like of safety ratings?
I mean, if that's a feature that lowers your insurance premiums,
that could be it.
Then long term, I would say that's probably an investment that will pay for itself.
Yeah,
if you're gonna have the car for a while,
it's worth considering. Yeah,
but I think
I would hate it.
I think I would hate that too.
I would go crazy.
Especially, if it was an option.
Yeah.
That was toggled.
Yeah,
it was off by default.
Yeah.
And I had the option to turn it on if I was just like, this is a really sketchy parking spot, and I want to turn on this the safety rails.
Yeah,
essentially.
Right. I think even like if you start veering outside of a lane without using a blinker, it'll correct you.
Oh yeah, my car does that.
Oh, it does?
It'll kind of gently try to ease you into centered position in the lane.
Right.
And if you're starting to cross the line, it'll beep at you. Yeah. I can turn that off. I can turn off the lane keeping assist.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can turn off the beeping. If I could, I think I would, because it's pretty annoying.
Yeah.
But it does actually encourage me to use my blinker more consistently.
Yeah.
So it's still annoying, but it's actually probably a positive side effect. Sure. I've never been like terrible about. I'm not like a BMW driver, stereotypically.
Yeah.
But I've definitely been more consistent at using my blinker.
Why are BMW drivers the worst? There's got to be some science behind it. Because it seems like unanimous.
It's
like a universal thing.
It's a stereotype, and so obviously it's a stereotype. But then there's also in every stereotype. Am I saying stereotype?
Stereotype.
Stereotype.
Nice.
There is a grain of truth. Typically.
Yeah.
I think it has to do with this generalization of BMW drivers being more self important, like egotistical / narcissistic.
Yeah.
And not caring about other people as much.
Right.
And just
overall douchebags.
Yeah, kind of being douchebags. It's a long-lived stereotype.
I mean, it was like first thing that I searched for it on Reddit. And it's like, why are BMW drivers such douchebags?
All right, what's the hive mind say?
Honestly, it doesn't seem like there's any conclusive answer. Simple. A used 10 to 20-year-old BMW is a cheap, powerful rear-wheel drive car that you can drive like a douchebag. So for most douchebags, it's the obvious option. Hence, we get correlation between BMWs and douchebags. The fact that it's a cheap rear-wheel drive. Because I guess if, rear-wheel drive cars
and rear-wheel drive.
Yeah, rear-wheel allows you to, like, drift.
Yeah.
And do Tokyo drift moves. Maybe. And if you can get it for cheaper, then it's like people who kind of want to live above their means or kind of like just project a certain lifestyle.
Okay, the other car that springs to mind it's the Nissan. It's the G something. I want to say GTR. It's not GTR.
It's a BMW?
No, Nissan.
Oh, GTR.
Is it a GTR?
The sporty one?
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
Godzilla. It's the two-door. Yeah. Yeah, that one also kind of has that reputation.
That's like the fuckboy car. That's like the classic fuckboy car.
I had a coworker who was really intent on getting that car, and
yeah, I mean it is a very fast, like for what it costs. I think the price has gone up a lot over the years, but when it first came out, it was like the amount of horsepower you're getting for It was just a crazy value. It was a crazy value. So similar kind of to like what they're saying about the BMWs.
Right.
If you can get one for a little cheaper, get a used one, then you can get them for a good price, and they got some oomph to them.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
The guy wasn't like a douchebag or a fuckboy, but he definitely had that. He wanted to be like flashy, like not. I don't know. He was. It made sense with his personality that he wanted that car.
Okay.
But also I don't think it necessarily says something bad about him, because he was also willing to ride on a scooter for like half a year just to save up money for that car. Like I'm talking like a little dinky
motorized,
like
scooter?
yeah, like little moped,
but not like a nice
like
one.
candy apple red, made in China.
Oh wow.
Scooter.
Yeah.
Which the dude was built like a fire hydrant. So it made my day to see him come riding up to work on that thing.
just it'd be hilarious if it wasn't motorized. If he was just like kicking, he's with his jacked leg out, just with one jacked leg, just propelling himself on this tiny little scooter.
I respected him because he was willing to sacrifice and work hard toward the goal of getting that car, and he got it, and he was super happy.
He got it?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And then he spun out on the freeway. And I'm not making any assumptions. He said that, it was just like, because of rain and he lost control or something.
Dude was buzzing, bro.
I don't know. I am not making any assumptions.
Buzzing like a bee.
But I did think it was hilarious because
back on the scooter the next day.
No, it was he had spun and not really hit anything, but he just barely scraped the front of the car.
Oof.
On the just the front bumper on the middle of the freeway barrier.
All right,
but it made this mark that looked just like a mustache on the front of the bumper. Just like a horizontal scratch pattern across the whole paint.
Yeah.
And it looked like a mustache, and I was like, that's kind of great, actually.
That is kind of cool.
Like, if you're gonna have damage from an accident, just getting a mustache slapped on your car is not that bad.
That's just practical art, That's awesome.
Okay, so for you, have you ever gotten a whether it's your car or like a rental or something, have you ever gotten a warning from your car? You're like, why is this a warning? Why is this something I should even be getting information about?
No. I mean, I get warnings on my car all the time, but they're usually pretty necessary. Like, I just got, what did I just get? Low tire pressure. I fixed that. Just had to fill up. And then I also got brake pads are worn down. Brake pads need replacing. And then I think when I get them replaced, I'm also going to swap the exhaust back to aftermarket, because I can't deal with...
Oh, because it's currently California compliant.
It's currently California compliant because I need to pass smog to get my registration. But now that I've done it, got it done, I need to switch it back, because did I tell you it's rattling like crazy. Like the old muffler, like when my mechanic put it on, I went to go pick it up. He's like, yeah, the muffler's like it's he's a Armenian guy. He's like, yeah, it's right. The muffler's very loud. It's rattle. And then he turns it on.
Are there like dead rats in there or something?
He turned it on. It's like it sounds like, like when kids used to put tape like a baseball card to their bikes between the spokes. It's like that, but it's metal sounding, and it sounds so janky. It sounds like it's loud, dude. It's loud. I'm surprised you haven't heard it when I roll
good loud.
Not good loud. And it only really sparks up. It spikes when I'm idling or when I'm stopped. So it'll usually be...
it's like the opposite of what you want.
It's the opposite, because it'll usually be at a red light when like people walking by just like what the hell's that noise? And they realize it's coming from my car.
It sounds like your car's dying.
Like, oh my God, what are you driving? It's so embarrassing. I can't deal with it anymore. I'll be like, Mel, you should drive. You should drive to the movie, because I can't be seen. I
can't be heard in this car.
I cannot be heard or seen caught dead in this car.
So other than that, would you say that there's a noticeable performance difference?
Yes. Oh, big time.
Really?
Yeah. Because not only did I switch it back to the original, like the stock muffler and stock exhaust, because it was straight piped before, but I also brought the ECU back to stock.
Oh.
So I took off, I reinstilled all of the default limits.
Interesting.
All of the stock factory limits. Of
And
the
that's
car.
the same physical ECU. You just like reflashed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
With my laptop.
Ah,
Yeah. It's like a little software that I bought.
damn.
So it is a huge difference. It's like over 100 horsepower difference.
What about fuel economy? Has that changed?
You know what? Not a whole lot. If I'm not driving the car like a maniac, you know, like when it's aftermarket, then it actually retains pretty decent MPG. I forget the reason why, but sometimes you can actually see a small increase in fuel efficiency
From the ECU modifications?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, I forget the reason, but yeah. So that hasn't been an issue. It's just the noise I'm dealing with right now.
It sounds janky, dude.
It's rough, dude. It's
So
really rough. I can't be seen in public. I hide my face. I look down anytime I'm at a red light. I just look down. Please don't look at me.
Wow. Okay, I did not realize that had been going on. I hadn't heard it.
Yeah, dude.
I would have probably shamed you even further if I had.
It'd be like a Mexican family walking with like 6 kids and just look at me like, this poor man. This sad poor man. Like, fuck, dude.
Okay, let me see if I can read any more of my handwriting here. Have you ever put on your underwear backward and then gotten like through your day to the point where you're going to the bathroom and you're like, wait, this isn't working right?
I don't think, I mean, I have to have at some point, but more often they'll be inside out.
That doesn't affect their function.
It doesn't, but it's still funny. It's still funny when we're like, oh, the tag's sticking out. Got a little tail. I'm like, this feels, no wonder it felt kind of weird.
No, but if they're fully
never backward.
backward.
I mean, don't you kind of know a little bit?
If you
put them on backwards.
If I'm in a
feel
hurry and I'm like
They don't fit
not
right.
fully awake,
Yeah.
it'll slip under the radar sometimes.
See, that's one thing I kind of miss about like working just a normal job is that I would like get ready. I'd have to get ready like while tired.
Yeah.
And so like sometimes
Now you have the luxury of
I just sleep in.
you just sleep in.
But
and
I hate
when
it. Like it's like there's nothing to tell me. There's no higher power. There's no higher power that's gonna be like, no, you need to start the day now. Asshole.
There's no boss to answer to.
Yeah, exactly. Which is a blessing and a curse.
You know, you could ask your mom to just call you to wake you up every morning around like 10.
I'm trying to be productive, not angry all the time. I don't want to be completely pissed. First half of my day.
Well,
I'm just kidding, Mom. I love you. But that would drive me insane.
but getting woken up by a phone call, that's especially a spam phone call,
Oh God,
is one of the most infuriating ways to stop your day.
I haven't answered a spam call in quite some time because I always screen my calls unless it's one I recognize.
Yeah, no, I
no
actually have to give credit to Aura, which is like a sort of identity protection / it's sort of like master of jack of all trades, master of none, but it actually, because it's like got antivirus function and VPN.
Is it free or do you pay for it?
It's paid.
Okay.
But the one thing that I will say is really helpful is it's got a really effective call screening function.
Yeah.
I used to get 2 to 7 spam calls a day.
Yeah.
All times a day, and I didn't want to. I didn't want to get to the point of just setting my phone to only allow contacts.
Yeah.
To ring my phone.
Sure.
Because
sometimes
you never know.
Exactly.
So this app it screens the calls for me, and it's like basically, hey, what is the purpose of your call? If you're not on my contacts or like not an allowed, authenticated number, then it just totally silently in the background, no interaction from me, answers the phone and it prompts the caller, hey,
Oh,
why
really?
why are you calling?
Oh, really?
And then if it does some, AI algorithm, to try to figure out what's going on, and if it determines that it's like a legitimate reason,
yeah.
like, hey, I'm calling to try to deliver something and I can't find your place or whatever.
Yeah.
From Amazon, which I've gotten a few times.
Right.
Then it'll let it through.
If you're delivering a package, press 1. If you're delivering drugs, press 2.
If you're the police,
ignore number 2.
press 3.
Goodbye. If you're the police, this is not Ian.
It actually gives you the option to say your name or not say your name.
Yeah.
Of
course.
And I was like, nah, don't say my name.
Yeah, no, don't. You don't want to do that.
Because the people who really need to talk to me are gonna know my name.
Dude, who even has like a custom voicemail set up these days on their cell phone?
I don't know.
I haven't heard one in a while, but it's only old people.
I don't know, like old people.
I don't know any young-ish people who have
who actually have a personalized
like,
message.
hey, it's Kyle. I'm not here right now. Leave a message. Like that is
Dude,
such
I remember,
an old school.
I know.
No one does that anymore. If you do that, you're either old or just
you're right,
or you're
because
Ikigai.
I remember like messing around with the answering machine when I was a kid and like recording over the tape to be like make my own answering machine. I mean,
it was fun back then.
Message. Yeah.
It was fun back then because everyone used it and you knew everybody who was trying to reach you was going to hear it. Now it's like there's a million other ways to be contacted, get contacted. So it's like the voicemail
is a totally outmoded thing.
And
it's
also,
like vestigial.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And also because like who called you even if they don't leave a voicemail. You don't have to leave a voicemail anymore to get someone's attention.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or to find
and it's so easy to leave a voicemail and be like, oh, I forgot to say something, or oh, I wish I hadn't said all that.
Yeah.
When you so why leave a voicemail when you can just send them a text?
Exactly. Yeah. So
yeah, you're totally right. Having a voice recorded voicemail greeting, is
so dated.
It's
a dinosaur, dude.
Yeah,
it's way of the
really
dinosaur.
Is
way of the dodo.
Because there was a time when answering machines were like a big deal,
right?
Because they had they didn't exist, right, for a long time. Like you were able to answer the phone or you missed the call. That was it.
Exactly.
And so, it wasn't my time, but there was a time when answering machines were hot shit because it was like, wow, I have a phone, and even if I'm not home, somebody can call me and get in contact and leave a message, and then I haven't, otherwise I'd just have no idea they tried to call.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And then that functionality just became so
obsolete,
banal,
that
it's like, like I went through a phase of just leaving my voicemail box full.
Yeah.
Just so people couldn't.
I did the same thing. Yeah.
People couldn't leave new messages.
I knew a lot of people who did that because it was just like it was annoying.
Yeah.
It was annoying. It was also there was no easy way. Like now they have visual voicemail, which is pretty quick and easy.
And
but
that's
for the longest time. It was like you had to dial star 86 or whatever, and then sometimes you'd have to enter a password to get to your voicemail box, and then you'd have to like wait for the dumb machine to be like message 1 at 8:59 p.m. And then you have to listen to the whole freaking thing. It was, from. Yeah. Bro.
Let me slowly say it.
On Wednesday, June 20th. It's like, I know. They just left it. Let me listen to it. It's
such a dated format. Yeah.
Totally sucked.
So I will say this. So I used to go from constant spam calls to none. Just none.
Yeah.
I see them in my call history, all getting blocked.
Yeah.
But constant, because it's a hand-me-down number.
Yeah.
Fun fact: this phone number was at one point misprinted in the Yellow Pages as the phone number for the San Diego Zoo.
Wait, what was misprinted?
The phone number that I now have was my dad's old phone number.
Oh.
So there was like a solid 2 or 3 months where I would hear him in his office.
Yeah. It's like, no, there are no zebras
here. He was
here.
working. Yeah, he was working from home decades before that was the thing.
Yeah.
And he would answer the phone and be like, I don't know if the monkey exhibit is open. This is not the zoo. This is the wrong number.
God, I mean, sometimes I pray for something like that to happen to me.
Because then you could just fuck with people
troll
so hard.
Oh yeah, we're gonna actually have, they've
The monkey mating display is at noon.
they've actually recreated a raptor using DNA, and it's going to be available just this one weekend.
The new Velociraptor versus T-Rex
exhibit is happening. It's going to be wild. Oh man, so much fun.
See, it's only for the weekend because the DNA is so unstable that it breaks down, and that's why we can only do it over the weekend. It just they don't last, Yeah, that would you could take advantage of that if you had the time. If you had the time and the interest.
Man.
But I got a reprieve from constantly being woken up by bullshit. Because my sleep schedule means that if you're calling me and it's like 9 o'clock in the morning when most normal people are awake, I'm asleep and I'm fucking pissed off.
Oh yeah,
that I had to wake up for that.
Right.
So I am.
The Do Not Disturb is a modern marvel of society.
I don't know why I never. For some reason, I was always reticent to like fully do not disturb mode my phone.
Or like you never put your phone on mute when you go to bed?
Sometimes, yeah. But
yeah, I always put it on mute. But then the only issue with that is that sometimes, I know there's a way to just schedule it, but then I'll go like the whole rest of the next day without remembering to turn my phone back, and I'll miss like 3 important calls. Like, God,
you're like, man, nobody who was I was expecting to talk to called me today.
Right. Like, oh shit.
Oh, they did call me.
Everyone's pissed at me. Damn it.
Yeah. Recording your own customized voicemail message. That is definitely a sign that you are older.
I think it's only my mom and old people that I know leave me voicemails still. I don't think anybody else does. Oh, it's different if it's like a doctor. It's like, we got your contact lenses for pickup or something like that. But apart from that, it's just people. As far as personal life,
it's almost a
my
dead
mom
format.
And old people. It really is. Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are places where it's still like actively used. Like,
yeah,
I know. I want to say it's Germany or Japan. One of those two countries has a huge hard-on for fax machines.
Yeah,
and somehow they got so embedded in business culture that like there's still a fax machine in every office.
Damn.
I want to say Germany, but I don't remember.
Yeah.
But I'm sure there are places where voicemail is still alive and well, but now it's like the appendix.
Yeah.
It's a vestigial organ almost.
You don't really need it. I think the only, apart from my mom, the last voicemail I got was for my birthday, was for my great aunt and uncle. Mm-hmm. They are like the last remaining people on Earth that are completely off the grid. Like they don't have internet. I don't doubt they have cable. They might have cable, but they don't have internet. They've never had email, and they don't have smartphones. They They don't use Uber, anything like that. And so they left me a message.
When they dial a phone number, they're actually dialing the phone number.
They're dialing the phone number.
They're not swiping a contact.
Correct. They actually have physical buttons that they press to dial people.
That's old school.
And my great aunt will leave voicemails. Like voicemail is that's her main mode of communication.
Yeah.
Unless it's like live real time on the phone, she'll leave like 5-minute long voicemails on my mom's, because it'll cut her off, because there's a time limit,
right? And
so she'll call again and continue where she left off. So it's like a 5-parter.
Wow.
It'll be like a 5-part voicemail. It's like email, but just in a really inefficient format. It's crazy. And they left me a voicemail on my birthday a few weeks ago. It was just them like singing happy birthday to me, which is very sweet.
It is.
But I was like, God, you guys are so old.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's not really hard to support voicemail functionality, but I wonder who will be the first like service provider to just kind of drop it and just acknowledge that it's just not. I mean. It's got to be like solo maintenance that it's not even at this point it's not worth the money savings to drop it.
Yeah,
but it's going to happen eventually. I'm just wondering how that will go.
Yeah, that's true.
So you've never put your underwear on and realized halfway through the day?
Oh yeah, that's what we were talking about. No, not backwards, inside out.
Inside out.
Just inside out.
That doesn't count, man.
Really? You ever done that with like a shirt? Ever put a shirt on inside out?
Oh yeah, I do it sometimes on purpose.
Oh really?
Yeah.
To keep it clean or what?
No, these shirts, they're a little more comfy if they're inside out.
Really?
I don't know. The seams are like a little bit softer on the outside than the inside.
That seems like a design flaw.
It's hard to really, throw shade on these shirts. I really like them. They're comfy.
That does look like the type of shirt though that you could wear inside out and no one would know.
It is hard to notice.
Yeah.
But if I'm at home all day or whatever, I'm slumming it, then I'll turn it inside out.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more comfy that way. Otherwise, no. My socks will be inside out sometimes. I haven't noticed any performance difference. In fact, I have a few pairs of socks that I tend to wear inside out intentionally because I like the way that it feels more.
I'm trying to think if there's any weird, any like quirks with how I wear clothing. Unless I'm like at a wedding or like a funeral or something, I can't wear long sleeve shirts with the sleeves down. I have to roll them up. They have to be rolled up because it just feels too uncomfortable when they're all the way down. I don't like having my forearms covered. It's strange.
Interesting.
And then,
I've never had that.
Which is fine in a hoodie, but in a dress shirt, I can't do it.
I got used to wearing dress shirts.
Yeah.
And like long sleeve button-up shirts, and I do like to roll the sleeves up in terms of comfort, like temperature wise,
right?
But I never really had an issue with that feeling of like constraint.
You know what I think part of it might be too is like a fitment thing because I don't have the longest limbs in the world, and so if I wear a dress,
you are the longest limbed man that I've ever seen.
Maybe one limb, but.
One limb to rule them all.
Definitely not that. But maybe it's because I have shorter arms, and so when I put it on a dress shirt, like an adult-sized dress shirt, it gets bunched up.
Dude, you should
feel
treat
very,
yourself
baggy,
to like a nice
like a tailored.
Like when you hit your weight goal.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. Is go get a nice tailored like 2 or 3 tailored suits.
That'd be nice.
Like
I would do that in Asia. Get them for like a fraction of the price.
Clearly, yes.
That's what
get like a nice black, a dark blue,
black,
and then
blue,
like
khaki maybe.
Either gray or khaki, or not khaki, but tan.
Tan.
Yeah. And then if you really want to jazz it up, get some like
some flamboyant shit.
Some flamboyant shit. Yeah,
that'd be cool.
But there's like a lot of style guides out there that give you like. Mix and match of like you can take this color jacket, this color shirt, this color pants, belt, shoes, whatever.
It's like having like the fundamental building pieces, and then it's like primary colors.
Exactly.
You can just make any color with it.
That's what I'm saying. Like
definitely
get to a good sustainable like body composition.
Yeah.
And then treat yourself, reward yourself.
Yeah.
Get like 3 nice tailored outfits that all act as interchangeable parts, and then just enjoy looking fly.
Yeah, it's a good call. I've been wearing like the same suit for like 12 years. So I have one suit. I have like one suit that like I think fits me well.
Yeah.
And like that's the one I bust out because I just go to so few occasions that I need to dress that way. So I think they're few and far between enough where. Like, all right, it's been 3 years since anyone's seen me in this. I can get away with it.
Here's my challenge to you, and it comes on the heels of many other challenges. But dress up, like Saturday or Sunday. Just dress up.
Okay.
Like
you mean like and go out and do things, or just dress up at home?
If you are going out.
If I'm going out.
If you're planning to be out and about, like even if it's just you're going to the grocery store, just fucking get looking good.
Just look dapper.
Yes,
just get looking dapper, look spiffy.
Make it a habit because just make it a habit to like get looking sharp, like once a week.
I'm not combing my hair though.
I mean, I'm not.
I can never comb my hair.
What do you do to your hair then?
Nothing.
Nothing. All right,
I haven't done anything to
that's
my
fine.
hair since like high school.
Well, what you were doing in high school was emo shit, so I don't think that would look good with a suit or whatever. Whatever spiffy thing you're doing.
Yeah, I don't even know if I put product in my hair really in high school. Middle school for sure. Everyone had like the glue spiker shit.
Yeah,
That was
I
probably the
remember
last
that.
time I put product in my hair, and then I don't think I've really touched it since.
All right. Well, I mean, I'm not
But
a
yeah,
hair expert.
Getting stylish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Get yourself to the point where you're like feeling dapper, look in the mirror like, yeah, I look good.
just buy some eggs and a tux.
Hell yeah. No, just I don't know. It could be I think a good habit. Just it's a good reminder of like, hey, I clean up nice.
Yeah,
And
Nice.
practicing doing that, cuz you never know, you may have some emergent occasion in your life where you're like, "Oh, damn, I got to look good in like
yeah,
45 minutes."
sure,
So being practiced at it and having,
right.
your stuff ready to go is not a bad thing.
I'd also like the interactions. People would be like, oh, like at the checkout, like, oh, you going somewhere nice tonight?
Yeah, I'm going to the opera. It doesn't have to be true. Just say you're going to the opera.
Just be like,
I'm going to see Pavarotti. Doesn't matter. He died 20 years ago.
I'm going to Figueroa Street to see the ladies of the night. All right.
Or
well,
it depends on what time I get there. There might be some daywalkers.
I was having fun at the at some daywalkers. I was having some fun at the movie theater. I went to go see Joker 2 and I made like a vlog on it.
Yeah.
And I like kind of did this undercover thing where I was like recording audio with my phone, talking to the staff, trying to get their 2 cents on the movie. And I was like, "You seen Joker 2?" And they're like, "No, I haven't seen it yet." It was like, it's been mixed. The reception's been mixed. I was like, "Oh, I'll love it because I love musicals. Like I would die for musicals."
It's
like,
a musical?
It's yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's basically a musical.
I hate musicals.
Yeah, so like I don't care about them, but I was doing this bit, and I was like, I love music, and like the guy at the front, definitely a little on the, ambiguous side. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, oh, I love musicals, so I'll probably love this movie. He's like, oh, I love musicals too. He's like, did you see Mamma Mia? And I was like, oh fuck. I was like, I'm in trouble now. But I was like, yeah, no, like my birthday party theme was Wicked. He's like, oh, that's so cool.
Oh yeah, he's definitely a Broadway fanatic.
Then I went to they had a bar in there, so I was like chatting up with this bartender, and she's like, oh, I've never seen it. It was like, yeah, I love musicals. What did I say? I was like, I dressed up as Sweeney Todd once, and she's like, oh, cool. And I was like, for my cousin's funeral, and she's like, she goes, okay, just like that. And I was like, yeah, the reception on that was pretty mixed too. And she's like, well, if you like musicals, I'm sure you'll like the movie. She was just like totally confused.
So did you enjoy the movie?
No, I did not.
It seems to have been universally panned by audiences and critics.
Yeah, we're past an hour now, but I would rant about it. But everyone go watch the movie. Go watch the Joker 2 review I did, which is very weird for me to do a movie review, but I was just kind of feeling it. But yeah, in a nutshell, I broke it down. I benchmarked the movie. I timed how long the music scenes were. Literally,
you got metrics
to the second.
Nice.
I come with receipts, and it's 30 minutes of the movie. It's 2 hours and 18 minutes runtime.
God, that's a long movie.
30 minutes.
30 minutes of
30 minutes of just music. So if you break that down, that's a song that breaks out every 10 minutes of dialogue. On average.
I think you could actually genuinely, productively torture me with something like that. Like if you tied me in a chair and forced me to watch something.
Oh, dude,
like
it was like I was in there like Clockwork Orange. It was great. I was like the eyes being forced open while you're watching something. It was crazy. I was just like, oh no. It was like fine the first couple songs.
Yeah.
And then once you realize that this is just the movie and how it is the whole time, and the songs are not even loosely tied with the story at all. They're just they're just love songs. They're just really cheesy love songs. Then you really start to hate it. You really go, should I just go home midway through?
So there was a YouTuber who made the commitment to watch Morbius
Oh,
for an entire week. So he watched it 5 times.
5 times in a week.
Yeah, so we watched it every day for 5 days.
That's rough.
And it was like so masochistic. You could tell by day 3 he was like losing all hope. And
one of the earlier Mr. Beast videos before he like really got big or whatever, he did a 24-hour video of just him, no cuts, just him watching one of the Logan Paul brothers, one of his music videos on repeat for 24 hours. And you just see the clock just behind him, just...
I don't know. If you're watching that...
Insane.
That's like watching somebody... It's like watching the show from Idiocracy, Ow My Balls.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just like...
It was literally...
Yes. Let me watch a show that's about a guy getting kicked in the balls 20 different ways.
Basically. It was basically that. He was like, that was easily the hardest thing I've ever had to do. Bar none. You just and like obviously you just kind of skip through it to just see his face slowly, just his soul just slowly leave his body.
The wild thing is, I wonder what the actual view count on that video is.
The Mr. Beast video,
yeah,
or
the Mr. Beast video.
Well, now all of his videos have millions of views. A crazy amount of millions.
So there are millions of people who have watched that whole 24-hour video.
I'm sure. I guarantee.
Is it actually 24 hours?
It is actually 24 hours.
Good God.
It's either... Well, he did it for 24 hours.
But then he cut it down.
He might have sped it up, like time-lapsed parts of it to get it. Because I think there's a 10-hour limit on YouTube uploads.
That's still bananas.
So, yeah, but 24... And he had the clock in there to prove it. One solid take. And I guarantee you there's people that have reacted to Mr. Beast's video reacting to that video. And it's probably just
how many layers deep does it go?
Like how many levels?
I wonder what's the record for reaction level layers?
Yeah, no, it's got to be pretty deep.
I bet there's at least like 6 or 7 deep out there.
At least.
God,
people are crazy.
Oh, man.
All right, that's going to do it for this one, guys. We're cutting it off. You've been great. You've been great listeners, great viewers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. We will see y'all next week.
Oh, I forgot to tell you about the best deal I ever got in the Ralph's clearance section.
What the hell is going on now?
But I'll tell you next week.
Oh, we're going to save it? All right, we're
just remind me because
what a wicked tease you are.
I will have forgotten by then if you don't.
You are an Icky guy. All right, guys. Later.